Hey everyone, I'm back. This pandemic has been weird. It's been a minute since we recorded one of these. It's been summer. Usually our busy season. It's been quiet. We found some work. We found a little bit here and there. But for the large part, it's been quiet. And you know what? That's okay. Because I made a decision back in mid-spring that we were just going to hunker down as a company and make sure we made it to the other side of this pandemic. That was the strategy from our end. There have been other strategies we will talk about on this podcast, but our strategy was to hunker down, save capital, get to the other side alive, not limping, not just barely make it to the other side strong. I know there will be some businesses that fail and falter because of this, and for that I am sorry. That is a deeply, deeply troubling part of this pandemic that really isn't getting talked about enough. Small businesses are dying. But in Darwin fashion, survival of the fittest, right? Apex predator. We want to make it to the other side. We need to be able to get there. So I compare it to a bear going into hibernation. Up until March, we had a really good 2020 going. So we were foraging, we were eating, we were putting on the fat, right? Because in this industry, it can be feast or famine. So you eat when you can eat, and you fatten up when you can, and we did. And then the pandemic hit. So we calmed down, took a breath, panicked. Of course we panicked. Everyone panicked. Then this will be over. This will be over quick, right? This all go away. And it didn't, and it still hasn't. And I'm glad we made the decision to hibernate. We went for the long slumber, the long, deep slumber. Usually it's a winter slumber. We did it a summer slumber this year. That's okay. And we're still not waking up. I just opened my eyes here today to say a few words. But they're very important words, and we're going to get into them right now. Hey everybody, I'm Luke Miller, founder, CEO, janitor, Moment Creative, also now calling it Moment Production because the needs have changed a little bit for everyone. This podcast is called Dying on the Vine. Now, I like to record podcasts when I have also written a blog about the same thing, and that doesn't always match up. But today I posted a blog on madebymoment.com. It's also up on LinkedIn and Medium, called Normal Will Return. That's part of the subject we will talk about today. Dying on the Vine is the main subject. We hinted on it in the intro. Small businesses are dying. And I don't really want to make this overly political. The blog was. The podcast is just a plea for help. Our industry, live events, is really, really crippled by this virus. In many instances, we are legally obligated to not do what we do. And we have talked about strategies and solutions. Again, our solution was to hibernate. The other strategy that's talked about a lot that I cannot stand is called pivoting. I say it in the blog, but pivoting is what Blockbuster should have done in the face of Netflix. Pivoting is something that people do in the face of innovation, right? If you've been a landline telephone company your whole existence and cell phones come out, you better be smart about how you move forward, because landlines have largely died out and cell phones have succeeded. And only a couple companies that were landline companies are still around today as cell phone companies. Pivoting is something you do in the face of innovation. Uber caused taxi cabs to pivot. Blockbuster should have pivoted because of Netflix. They didn't. One of the most epic stories of a demise in our generation. Because we all remember going to the store, right? Mom and dad take you down to Blockbuster. You walk around the store for like 20 minutes. The one you want's never there because you're moving all the tapes. Is it behind this one? Is it behind this one? It never is because it's the brand new one. So you end up with something you don't really want. And then you get 50 bags of candy on the way out that are way too expensive. Take it home, watch it, have to rewind it. You all remember this. Fantastic. Man, I could go back and do that again. But that is the example I give of a pivot. That's when you pivot. You don't pivot because we failed as a country to do the right thing. So for all those that have pivoted, congrats. Good for you. You're now in a new industry or doing something different. And if you are in the events industry, au revoir. We won't miss you because there's more of us. There's more business for us now, right? But those of us who have hibernated or will make it to the other side are going to be really happy to be there when we get there and have that business, because we will. Because at the end of this all, when everyone is so saturated by digital, so saturated by virtual events, Zoom, what are you going to wonder? You're going to get out of the house and be with people, shake hands, exist in the same space where you're not in the confine of a taped off box, right? We're humans. We gather, we get together. So for those of you that have pivoted, congrats. I'm glad you found another revenue stream. Wonderful. For those of you that have failed because of this, I really do feel bad because it isn't your fault. But the biggest thing here is, again, dying on the vine. We've got the airline industry as a perfect example for me. The federal government gave the airline industry millions and billions of dollars to stay alive. Dollars to fly around empty planes. Dollars that ultimately kept people on staff, and dollars that no longer matter, right? Because they got rid of them anyways. United, just 2 days ago, 16,000 people getting laid off. But our tax dollars kept them around for 3 months. Thank God. Thank God they could fly around those empty planes so people could have a job for 3 more months. That isn't pivoting. But I do wonder where our government handout is, because there are businesses that are dying on the vine. Moment Creative, Moment Production could have been one of those businesses if we didn't choose to hibernate. Have we had to let people go? Yeah. Have we furloughed? Yeah. But we had to do what we had to do to get to the other side. Do I want to bring those people back? Absolutely. I want them back. Great people deserve to do great work. But that work doesn't exist right now. We are dying on the vine. There is no help. This is my plea to senators, to congresspeople, to governors, to the marketers at big brands and companies who still have money for 2020. There are businesses that need you. There are businesses that are dying on the vine because of the terrible response to this pandemic, and maybe a little bit of companies continuing to feed the mouths of the already well-fed. The big agencies will survive this. The little guys, the Moment Creatives of the world that haven't hibernated, the ones that are struggling, the ones that are failing, we beg of you, give us your business or provide us a solution that gets us out of this mess. If we had the leadership we needed from the start, maybe we wouldn't be talking about this in September. But the airlines got the money in 2020. The big banks got it in 2008. We bail out the big guys, and we talk about this K-shaped economy where the big guys run off with their bags of money to the hills and the little guys fall by the wayside. And they die on the vine. We are dying on the vine. We don't deserve to pivot. These businesses don't deserve to pivot. Lead if you're in the government. Think of the mom and pops if you're in the chair making decisions. Because there are companies that desperately need you to step up. Thanks for listening. I'm Luke Miller. We'll see you on the next one.